Learn on how to solve quadratic equations. The solutions to quadratic equations are the x-intercepts, which we have talked about 45,753 million times. But today we're on the last one. So you use this. It is for finding solutions for quadratic equations. Sorry. Now again, what are the solutions to a quadratic equation? I just said it a minute ago. X what? Intercepts. X-intercepts. We ready? Do we need a mow? What's happening? We're ready? Oh my God. More because I was afraid like a demon was about to come out of you. Ooh, I need to put an I right here and actually spell solutions right. There we go. Reggie, did you spell solutions right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to use the quadratic formula, and you just plug in and do the same thing over and over and over. Now, you can only use the quadratic formula when it is in standard form. And who remembers what standard form is of a quadratic? Starts with an A. AX squared plus BX plus C is standard form. How many of us remember that? 2 people, 3 people, look at us go. Awesome. Good to know you retain knowledge. Nick, are you alive? Are you tired? I'm so sorry. Alright, are we ready? Are we sure? Damien, do I need to come get that? You're so dramatic. Oh my gosh. Alright, so this is the quadratic formula. X is equal to opposite B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all divided by 2A. And there are songs for this to help you remember. Are you? I swear. Oh yeah. So all you have to do is plug it in. Now, you find your A, B, and C from when it's in standard form. And remember, we've seen this plus or minus before. It's when you get 2 different answers. So the plus or minus symbol means do both. Add to get your first solution, subtract to get your second solution. And we have done this before. We have done this before. You can also use this when you can't factor. So we found our solution several different ways. We've graphed and found where it crossed the x-axis. We have factored and got where x equals 0. We've completed the square, and now the last thing that we're going to do is the quadratic formula. Now, what does it mean by negative b? What do you think that means? What does that mean? If b was 4, what would we plug in? Okay. If b was -7, what would we plug in? Positive 7. Good. Take a point because it's the opposite of whatever it is. Alright, so A, B, and C. So this is our quadratic formula. X is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root. B squared minus 4AC, all divided by 2A. A, B, and C are what? We get them from here, but what are A and B called? Starts with a C.
What's the second letter?
You should know that by now. It's in front of a variable. So what's it called when a number is in front of a variable? Coefficient. Look at you guessing and getting it right.
It was in my head already.
I don't know why you're saying it so angrily. Alright, so A, B, and C are the coefficients of x squared and x. And what is C called? It's not a coefficient, but what's it called? When it's a number by itself. It starts with a C. Constant. Look at you go. Take a point. Do I need to zoom in? I wasn't asking for you. I'm just saying it out loud for you. For everyone else who remembered their glasses or only a little blind. And when do we use the quadratic formula? When it's in what form? Standard form. Take a point. So when in standard form, and what is standard form of a quadratic?
8x squared plus bx.
Look at you, and you used your notes. Take another point. Are we ready? Do we need a mo? Alright, so what goes in the blank here for our song? What came after X in the song? Okay, children. Look back at your thank you equals. Good Lord, take a point. X equals negative B, and then what came next? Look at your formula. What comes next after the negative B? Plus or minus. Good. Take another point. Plus or minus the square root of B. B squared. Good. Take a point. Baby, we're just reading the formula. Minus what? 4AC. All divided by, because we don't say over, 2A. Good. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC, all divided by 2A. It's not over. We're not cows.
The song is just in my head.
Oh boy.
Good. That was the point. I'm over you. Are we ready? Does anybody still need a moment or what?
No. Proceed.
Alright, so now we're going to work out the problem at the bottom together. Are you guys ready? Oh wait, I forgot one very, very, very important part. What do you think it must be equal to every time? 0. Take a point. Must equal 0. And it must be in what form?
Wait, so
And what standard form?
AX squared plus BX plus
Good, take a point. So what, Damien?
so we basically solving for 0.
No, we're solving for x.
What you said? It should be.
The equation must equal 0, your quadratic. And then you plug into the quadratic formula. Alright, are we ready? Let us look at the bottom. What must we do first? Set equal to 0, take a point. And how would we get 4x squared minus x equals 3 equal to 0? Subtract 3, take a point, good job. And we would subtract 3 because it's a positive 3. If we subtract that, it becomes 4x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. Does everybody see where we got that from? Except for Jorge, who has his head down. Alright, so now it says identify A, B, and C. Is this in standard form?
No.
C.
No.
C.
No sé.
You know, say. Alright, so what is A in this situation? 4. Good. What's B? Positivo or negativo?
Negativo.
Negative 1. And what's C?
Negativo. No?
Negativo 3.
Cero.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take those numbers and we're going to plug it into our quadratic formula. Now what is the quadratic formula?
Negativo es
1x squared plus
entre 2. Oh, sí.
You guys, all you have to do, you see that little bubble that has quotation marks around it right above it, this bubble right here? Read this bubble to me. X equals negative B plus or minus the B Look at you go. Both of you take a point. The rest of you, who English is your first language, you should be reading that to me. Thank you. Alright, so it says opposite of B plus or minus. Now, what is B in our formula, or in our equation?
Uno.
And what's the opposite of negativo uno?
Uno.
So 1 plus or minus the square root of, what are we going to plug in for B?
Cuatro.
What's B? What's B?
Uno.
Pero lo hace positivo.
Squared minus 4 times, what's our A?
Menos 3.
Cuatro.
And what's our C?
Negativo 3.
Negative. Alright guys, if you get confused on what we're doing, look where we wrote it down. We said A is 4, B is negative 1, C is negative 3. Look at me using my notes. Thank you, I'll be here all week. All divided by 2 times what? What's A?
Cuatro.
Thank you. Alright, what's negative 1 squared?
Uno.
Alright, what's negative 4 times 4?
Negativo.
And what's negative 16 times negative 3?
Then it'd be negative 48. No, positive 48.
Positive 48. Divided by what?
Dos.
8.
Negativo 8. Positivo, perdón.
Where are you?
En el cielo.
2 times 4, which is 8. Does everybody see how I got from the first step to the second step to the third step? Are we sure? And now all I do is add 1 plus 48, which is? And then from here, we have to split. we have to split into our plus and our minus because we have to have two answers. Now, what's the square root of 49? 7. Good. Both of you take a point. So it's 1 plus 7 divided by 8 and 1 minus 7 divided by 8. What's 1 plus 7?
8.
What's 8 divided by 8?
1.
Okay, what's 1 minus 7?
Negative 6.
And what's negative 6 divided by 8?
Negative. No, sir.
No, say. Get a calculator. Divide.
0.
The rest of you divide. You have calculators in front of you.
No tengo.
I'm going to freak out if you don't divide. Divide.
Negative 0.7.
Not yet. I need to see everybody dividing. Because this is... I'm not making this face at you, Natalie. I'm making it at Damien.
Negativo.
What's the answer, Damien? Negative 0.75.
5.
So you didn't divide, you just heard someone say negative 0.7. Ta-da! That's all you do. Isn't it easier than completing the square?
Next example. No.
Ya ahí.
Next example.
Ya ahí. Es 1 menos 7 dividido entre 8.
See? You have to do it separately. Uno menos...
No mames, no mames.
So 8 entre 8.
No, baby, menos.
A ver los números.
Why do you have 0? Menos. Equals.
No sé nada.
Menos.
No mira.
Yes, negativo. It's like a baby one right there. You have to do it separately. Yes. Yes. Hurry. Super rapido. Alright, go to the next page, next example, because y'all are scaring me since we can't seem to add and subtract today. Yo también. Alright, remember, you must set the equation equal to what first? 0. Alright, so what are we solving, or what are we finding whenever we solve these?
Oh yeah. Solution for quadratic equation.
Thank you. Solutions. So the solutions of the quadratic equation are also called the what? I said it a minute ago. Starts with an X. It's 2 words.
The coefficient.
That doesn't start with X.
Interpret.
No. Alright, x-intercepts. And those are also called what? One starts with an R, one starts with a Z. Ever needs to get off his phone, or I'm going to keep it all day.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what does one start with?
One starts with an R.
Radical.
No. It's 5 letters, starts with an R.
Right.
5 letters, starts with an R. It ends with an S.
Russians?
Oh my god.
Oh.
They just, this isn't the election, this is just quadratic formula.
I said that.
Or,
Pero.
how many can we have? How many zeros can we have?
1, 2, or nada.
Look at you go, take a point. So let's write that on the side. There can be 1, 2, or 0. Can you two please stop talking? Good Lord. There can be 1, 2, or 0 solutions 4a quadratic. But isn't it fun, Natalie? I figured you of everyone would like this doodle the most. And I figured Diamond would be the one that would have something sassy to say about it.
But I didn't know.
You made a noise. So 1, 2, or 0 solutions. Are we ready to figure out how many our next problem has? Are we super excited? Can we get super excited? We can. Are we ready? He's fine.
I'll never be ready.
He's protected. Stop. Calm down. I'm really hungry. All right. So, what is happening?
They're all.
Okay. So our quadratic must be equal to what? 0. So what do we need to do with this 2x to make this quadratic equal to 0? Menos 12. Take a point. So then it's x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, can anybody besides Jorge tell me what a equals this time?
1.
Okay, take a point, Reggie. Can anybody besides Jorge and Reggie tell me what b equals this time?
-2.
-2. Good. Those of you that said -2 take a point. And can anybody besides those that answered for b tell me what c equals? Oh no. C is 1, but we were so confident in that 0. We were. Whew.
I only thought because I was looking up there when it said 1, 2,
Okay, so our quadratic formula is what? X equals
B
negative b
plus or minus the square root of b squared minus
4AC over 2A.
divided by 3.
Both of you get a point. Good. Divided by 2a. Are we ready? Anybody need a mo? You need ham sandwich.
Where's Mo?
Miss Asbury, have you knocked anything on the floor?
Yo también. Yes. Okay, so opposite of B, what are we going to plug in instead of, what is, yes, positivo dos, good, take a point. Thank you for knowing what I was trying to say. Plus or minus the square root. Alright, B squared, so I'm going to, what is B squared? What is negativo dos squared? Cuatro, good. Minus 4 times
1
times
1
yep.
4
See. All divided by 2 times what? What's A?
1
1. Jorge, you don't have to yell at me. All right. Tater tots. All right, so now we have 2 plus or minus. What's 4 times 1?
4.
Times 1?
4
So it would be 4 minus 4, right?
0
And what is 4 minus 4?
0
0. And what's the square root of 0?
0 okay.
You know, if you stopped talking, you would be able to understand what's happening, and then you wouldn't be so confused. No. That was not one of the options. The option was stop talking. All right, from here, you split. So you have to add and subtract, right? So we've got to do 2 plus 0 divided by 2 and 2 minus 0 divided by 2. Is that going to give us a different answer?
No.
No. What is 2 divided by 2?
0.
So our answer is 1. Again, we are really confident in 0 as our answer today.
1.
It's an even number.
Ready for the next one? Okay.
Quiero comer, ya tengo hambre. ¿No? 11:50, ya nos vamos.
Okay. Let's look at the next one. It says solve and interpret the solutions. We're just going to solve for the mode. Alright, so we have 3x squared minus 2x equals 8. What do we need to do with that 8? Besides Jorge. Below, right?
Access there.
So does everybody see why we subtracted 8?
Yes.
Besides you two and you, why did we subtract, and not Danubia, why did we subtract 8? Because it's C and we need to get it equal to.
0.
But why did we subtract?
To take it away.
Add, like, don't you add it to 0? So it'll equal, so when you add 0 to 8, it's going to equal 8.
Okay, so everyone else can understand, because I know that you get that and I get that. This is a positive. And what's the opposite of positive? So you subtract. That's all I wanted you to say. I know the path that you were on. I just wanted everybody else to understand where we were. Alright, so now we're going to plug it into our quadratic formula. What is our A this time? Not Jorge, not Elias, not Jalen, not Danubia. What is A?
3.
3.
Is that no?
B is -2.
B is -2 and C is -8. And what's our quadratic formula? You're not allowed to answer anymore. I know.
Squared plus 3x plus 2.
No. What is the quadratic formula? Mary's getting it. Negative B. Plus or minus.
La casita esa vez.
Mm-hmm. B squared. Mm-hmm. Divided by
2.
2A. Good job, Mary. Take a point. Not you. All right, are we ready to plug in? Or can you try it without me?
No, I don't need you.
I feel like he needs me to pass this 9 weeks, but we'll see. All right, we're going to do this last one together, then you're going to have 2 homework problems, okay?
No.
C. All right, opposite of B. What's the opposite of -2? Let everybody else have a chance. Shh. Yes. Yes.
2's more.
At least he's trying to be. All right, so it's -2 squared, which is quattro, minus 4 times Elias. Let everyone else have a chance.
No pasa nada después.
Divided by 2 times what?
3.
No.
Oh.
3, because it's A.
Es que ahorita vengo con ganas. No me entendió.
All right. So then, what is -4 times 3?
-12.
And what's -12 times -8?
7, no,
96, negativo 96. ¿No? Positive. Kasih lagi.
2 times 3 is 6. All right, what's 4 plus 96?
100.
And what do we have to do from here?
Dividir.
Mm-mm.
Esa cosita.
Split. Take a point.
Esa cosa. Explico.
What's the square root of 100?
Isn't it 10?
Yep. So we have 2 plus 10 divided by 6 and 2 minus 10 divided by 6. Ham sandwich. What is 2 plus 6?
Okay.
I mean 2 plus 10.
Wow, give it.
Dose. And what is 12 divided by 6?
2.
Alright, what's 2 minus 10?
Negativo.
Negative 8.
And what's negative 8 dividido 6?
Sepa, esa es la
I don't know where you're going, Jorge. You have homework.
A mi casa.
No, mi casa.
No la de ella, güey.
Alright, tarea. Two problems.
Unos 3.
No, we're writing down our homework. Yo también. Alright, those 2 problems for homework tonight.
Tonight?
See?
No,